I can't remember the stuff we've talked about in the past, so I apologize if you've covered this. But a couple times with the defense, you've said when you hired this staff, you had some things that you talked to them. You said were non-negotiable, like we've got to do, and then you sort of let them do their thing. Like what was that stuff?
Well, I mean, the first thing was stopping the run, and I mean, I know that sounds like no kidding, but that was a huge emphasis, and that we're really sound in our fits in the run game. That we were going to play with a ridiculous amount of energy, and that it wasn't going to come down to scheme. At the end, it was going to come down to toughness, effort, tackling, run to the ball. And then, there was a few things in terms of a 4-down front that was non-negotiable because Larry's done such a great job and the staff have done such a great job of recruiting all these defensive linemen that, we weren't really interested in a 2-gapping system. We wanted 4-down linemen. We were going to go after the passer. So that was kind of it, and then those guys got in a room and we're on that journey now.
And so with what you've seen through 2 games, and it's what we talked about all offseason, just sort of letting these guys play. I know, once you get here, recruiting rankings don't matter and that kind of thing, but just are you seeing some of the natural skill that these guys have coming out in the way you want it to? Because you do have some really talented guys on this defense.
Yeah, I think we're right now we're seeing the best version of these guys. I think, again, it's only 2 games, and we haven't had a conference game yet, but I think you're seeing some guys come out of their shell a little bit. You're seeing Malik Harrison show up, and he's had some really tough clips of film, taking on linemen or taking on, I think it was an insert by a tight end, he knocked him down, and, some Pete Werner, and, guys running the ball and tackling and being physical. And that's really important. Even in the game the other day, the quarterback escapes and he gets like a gain of 8, but he got whacked. I mean, and he got tackled, and there was like 6 guys running to the ball. And then when Sean Wade comes off the edge and causes that fumble, there was like 6 guys right there. And somehow we didn't get it. I don't know how we didn't get it, but we were there. And if we keep playing like that and keep playing with that kind of pursuit and that kind of toughness, we're going to get more and more turnovers. And I think they believe in it. They feel it right now.
And that reminds me, Sean Wade, just like he made a couple pops on some guys. Like, what do you think of what you've seen so far?
Very, very talented. Extremely talented. He can do a lot of things. He can play outside. He can play inside. He can blitz. Helps us on special teams. Very, very talented. And I think he's going to have a great year.
Second row right, Tony?
You may have just answered this question. What's your favorite aspect of this defense?
Well, I think I said it early on. I think that anytime you've been through some stuff, you've been scarred, and I like that. I like that kind of group, and they have. I mean, they had to sit around last year and listen about how they went through some tough times, and they weren't happy about that. They're a very prideful group, and so they were kind of just working and not talking much about it and trying to be quiet about it, but at the same time they were angry, and they feel like they have something to prove. They have a chip on their shoulder, and boy, I love being around guys like that.
And then you guys have fielded 3 punts inside the opponent's 10-yard line this season. You've scored touchdowns on each of those ensuing possessions. Forced a 3 and out. Is that as close to a turnover as you guys as you can get as a coach? How do you view those?
Yeah, so we have something we call the plan to win, and in the plan to win, one of the things we talk about is that when the offense gets the ball on the 25-yard line after a touchback or a kickoff return, our number 1 job is to get the ball to midfield. Now, obviously, we want to score, but it doesn't always work that way. But we got to get at least 2 first downs. If we get 2 first downs, we feel like we're jogging the best punter in America out there, and he's really good at spinning him inside the 10. If we get him inside the 10, we put the best defense in America out there, looking to get either a 3 and out or get them off the field before they get past the 20. At that point, we send the punt block or punt return team out and get the ball around midfield, and now it's the offense's turn to go score. And that's what you're talking about. And that literally is the plan to win. We talked about it before every game. We talked about it while it was going on in the game on the sidelines, and then we talked about it in the team meeting, showing the guys the clips, because that is the whole field position game. And when you start with the ball inside your 10-yard line, statistics show he was less than a 10% chance of scoring a touchdown. If you get the ball in midfield, it goes through the roof. And so guys understand that here, and that's part of our plan to win.
6th row right, Blake?
When Justin won the job, he mentioned that his gauge on his success would come from anticipating in this offense. Now that this quote-unquote preseason phase is over and you're entering conference play, how do you assess his progress with that?
Yeah, I think that's for everybody, and I think that's the key to really good play at the highest level of football is when you can anticipate what the defender is going to do or the offensive guy is going to do as opposed to react. That's when you become a great player. when you watch the best in the business, the Drew Breeses and the Tom Brady's and those type of quarterbacks, they already know what you're doing before you do it, and that's when you got them. And Justin's very talented, but that's the goal. We want to get to the point where he knows exactly what's going on before the play, and then it's just a matter of executing the play. He's a lot of talented quarterbacks out there who can get away with reacting, but we want to get to the point where he knows what's going on before the snap happens. But again, that's at every position. That's DB, linebacker, offensive line, and that's why we spend so much time preparing. If there's a physical preparation, there's also a mental preparation, and we got to keep pushing on that. The coaches got to keep pushing on that because that will make a difference in the end.
Far left, Lori.
Coach, how much of your offensive play calling are you pre-scripting? And when you do that, what is your priority there? Is it to try to probe the weaknesses of the defense? Is it to get the ball in certain players' hands? How much are you scripting, and what are the priorities when you do it?
Well, we put the game plan together, and that's all just scripted, by formation and then situation. But we have our openers that we start with, usually about 10 to 15. But I don't like to get too stuck on that. We don't like to get too stuck on that because things change really fast. Either the looks you're going to get in college football just change. Teams can go from showing one defense and all of a sudden they're in a completely different one. Or like last week, they were blitzing every snap. We knew after the second snap, it's all blitz. So now you need to quickly adjust and don't just stay fixed on the openers. And then you got to be able to adjust on the road, on the roll. But yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. And we try to do all the above. We try to get some guys some touches. We try to make sure we get the quarterback in a rhythm. We try to make sure we're moving the ball down the field. All those type of things as we get going. And then also, get a feel for what they're doing formationally, because most teams will have certain tendencies based on formation.